Hey there and welcome to this AFK journey video. So in the recent patch note, there's actually a line of text for the Dream Realm bosses that was really massive, and I think some viewers of mine actually voiced out the concern, and that is whether or not the ramping up of damage reduction is a nerf to true damage dealers such as Marilee and Corinne, and whether or not the ramping down of the magical and physical defense gain is above to the other attackers. And in today's video, I'm going to showcase it and I'm going to explain the rationale. Before I continue, right, I just want to say that the answer to that question, which I mentioned earlier, is a yes. And without further ado, let's start some of the runs to showcase the damage difference. So over here, we are going up against Cyclops, and because this is a seasonal challenge, we're running the full defensive package of the two Mauler supports and then Rainer. And we are running Skalita for the AoE utility, and for the carry of choice, I'm going to switch between two units, Marilee as well as OD, to showcase the damage difference. However, based on the investments of the units, OD is currently at Paragon 1, 5-star, Marilee is at 4-star Supreme Plus, so her damage will be slightly lower in that compartment, but I think it's fine. We will see the massive damage difference later on. Okay, so I'll start with Marilee first. Okay, so the artifact of choice is Quick Blade spell over here. So without further ado, let's start the battle. Okay, so we are sent. I'm going to go at 2 times because I think you guys probably know this battle super well. I don't think I need to explain too much. I'm just gonna take a look at the total damage as well as the damage distribution, and then I'm gonna explain what happened with the recent patch note change and why is it like that. So what will happen moving forward based on this current change will be quite important, especially for free-to-play players or people with limited resources. Okay, so this is Marilee doing damage, pretty decent damage so far. We're currently at 160 million, 170 million, doing really good. So the reason why we are not running the standard meta comp for Cyclops is because we are currently in the seasonal challenge where our gear is still not the highest level and our levels are not the highest level yet. So our units being not that tanky in terms of stats will require additional survival skills to keep them alive for the full boss cycle itself. Okay. So I think once we get the max level, we should go back to like the meta team comp setup where we will be able to feel less support with few more debuffers for us to get more damage, hopefully. Okay, so pretty good damage, 356 million damage. So next, let's run through the damage numbers. Okay, so here, this is the damage distribution. So the important guy is actually Marilee. So Marilee with Rainer's buff did 178 million damage. So that's for Marilee's case. Okay, so next, let's go into okay, first of all, the other units numbers, right, they will increase later on because now we're going to switch in OD, which will give us more attack stats and also more HP. So that's where like the other units damage number will also increase because of the additional stats, but the more important part of comparison will be between OD as well as Marilee. Okay, and for this run we have OD as the main carry. So I'll explain, I'll spoil for you guys what's the end result, and I'll explain why is that the case as OD is doing his damage in this 90-second run. So OD is currently the better damage dealer in most bosses because the recent change made it such that the boss will gain more damage reduction the lower HP the boss is, while gaining the magical and physical defense at a slower rate the lower HP the boss is. So this means that true damage, which is a form of damage, will get reduced more. And yes, damage reduction does affect the magical damage coming out from OD, but at the same time, previously true damage was not affected by the defense side of things, but magical attack from OD was affected by it. So what happened with this change is that OD is able to do more damage than Marilee now because his kit is magical attack. So his damage get reduced way less compared to Marilee, who is purely true damage based, because his part of a kit has magical attack where the magical defense is gained at a slower rate, right? OD is able to jam in more damage. On top of that, let me explain another thing that happened to OD which made OD really powerful as well, and that is the seasonal skill. So for those of you guys who haven't unlocked seasonal skill yet, this one doesn't matter to you. But for those of you guys who have unlocked seasonal skill, you get the very first level at level 51. This allows him to fire an extra projectile every 3 normal attack that hits the target. So this deals additional damage. The additional damage is 140%, but the most important part for this seasonal skill is actually the ability for him to stack up his third skill even faster, reaching the maximum 22 stacks as soon as possible. So that's one of the reasons why his damage actually went up as well, other than the boss mechanics change. But you guys need to know that right now, I think true damage might not be as strong as it used to be. It is still very powerful, by the way. If you have built up Marilee, I think Marilee is still an amazing unit, but I think with this recent change, you guys can see the damage numbers for yourself. OD is roughly dealing, I would say, like 1.5 times more damage than Marilee, 60 million more. Okay, 1.4, 1.3 times, right? And previously, Marilee would have beat OD by amount, like before this change itself, because true damage, right, it was reduced less from the damage reduction side. So Marilee, who is a true damage dealer, if you have both of them at the same investment for the EX weapon at level 10, for example, they are going to deal the same amount of damage. So some of you guys might say that, hey, this OD is slightly stronger with a higher EX weapon skill, yes, but at the same time, right, previously OD was maybe 33% of Marilee's damage, or maybe even max 50% of Marilee's damage on Skyclops. So this change, right, reversed the whole situation. OD was definitely below Marilee, and this change made it such that OD is doing more damage against most of the bosses compared to Marilee. I think there's only one boss that Marilee probably does better, and that will be Neko Dragon because of the mechanics. But what happens, or what is the thing that you guys need to take note of moving forward, is that true damage, Marilee, Corinne, or your basic true damage units moving forward, they will be, like, I'll say, like, not as powerful as they used to be, right? And if you're free to play, if you have limited resources, I'll say OD's EX weapon priority just went up one more tier compared to Marilee because of this change. Because I think other than Neko Dragon, OD will probably be the optimal carry of choice, because when you combine that with the fact that the existing powerful supports are all from the Mauler faction, OD just got even better, which is good. She is my favorite unit. I've been loving this unit a lot. But at the same time, I don't know, because Marilee is probably a unit that a lot of people have invested in. So we shall see whether or not this change will have a heavy impact in terms of what is to come moving forward. That's it for this video. Hopefully this video is helpful enough to answer your question and doubts with regards to the recent Dream Realm bosses changes. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.